Christopher Watts delivered a message to his missing family through a TV interview from his porch in Frederick, Colorado, one day after killing his pregnant wife and two daughters, leading with them to return home.
I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. Somebody has her and they're not safe. Like, I want them back now.
Chris's wife, Shannon Watts, 34, who was 15 weeks pregnant at the time, and the couple's little girls were reported missing on August 13, 2018. Authorities stated 3 days later that Shannon's body, as well as the bodies of her daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, had been discovered on the site of Anadarko Petroleum Corporation, the oil industry where Chris worked. The couple appeared to have a beautiful marriage on social media. On June 11, 2018, Shannon records a video of herself surprising her husband with the news that she is pregnant with their third child. In the video, Chris appears to be genuinely excited.
I like that shirt.
Just 3 days later, Chris adds co-worker Nicole Kassinger's contact details to his phone. Chris started secretly dating Nicole and told her that he is married and had children, but he and his wife were divorcing. Shannon, on the other hand, had no idea about any divorce or her husband's affair. For Shannon, her married life was perfect, and even on Father's Day, Shannon recorded a video saying how lucky is she and her daughters to have a person like him in their life.
He's been there. He was the one that let me lay on him and fall asleep for 3.5 hours on his lap while he had to pee. He is the best thing that has ever happened to me. So
Shannon with her daughters, Bella and Celeste, went to North Carolina for a 6-week vacation on June 27, while her husband decided to join them in the last week of the vacation. Till then, he wanted to work at home. Chris found it the perfect time to start dating Nicole as his family was not around. They went to a car museum and spent the night at a nearby campground after visiting the Great Sand Dunes National Park. Chris had semi-nude photos of Nicole which he keeps on his phone in a secret calculator app. From July 10, signs of tension in the Watts' marriage began to appear, according to their text messages. Before joining his family in the last week of their summer vacation, Chris writes Nicole a love letter. He wrote lyrics from this song down to earth on the inside of the letter. The trouble of marriage was not over yet, and Chris's mother created another problem. On 4th August, Shannon sent her husband a long text message accusing him of failing to defend her after his parents exposed their daughter Celeste to nuts. Doctors had advised the Watts family to keep Celeste away from nuts as she was allergic to them. Shannon also wrote Chris in the text that in the weeks they have been away, he hasn't expressed any signs of missing her. According to a check of Nicole's cell phone data, she searches the internet for wedding dresses for more than 2 hours while Chris was away. Tension flared up as the time went on. Shannon had no one to share her feelings with anyone other than her friends. On August 9, Shannon texted a friend that Chris attended her ultrasound but was rude to her, prompting her to cancel the baby's gender reveal party. On the same day, Shannon left for Arizona for a work trip. Since Shannon was not home, Chris decided to take Nicole on another date to a sports bar in Erie, Colorado. He told Shannon that he had hired a babysitter for their children as he and his co-workers are going to a Colorado Rockies game. Shannon was in Arizona for 3 days. For Shannon, these 3 days went horrible as Chris's behavior was becoming intolerable. He was calling Shannon once a day just to say he was busy and don't disturb him by calling and texting again and again. It was the last day of Shannon's business trip. Shannon sends a draft of a speech to one of her friends that she wants to give to her husband the next day when she returns to Colorado. In the message she wrote, "I try to fix things and make them better, and this is making me crazy. I know you need time. I want to give you what you are asking for and respect your space. I know I can't fix this by myself. We are going to have to work together." On August 13, 2018, at 1:48 a.m., Shannon is seen returning home from the work trip. Chris claimed he was sleeping when his wife arrived home. He stated that she wanted to discuss how strong their bond remained, but he didn't respond and went back to sleep. According to Chris's testimony, when he gets up for work later that morning, he and Shannon had a fight. When his wife suspected him of cheating, he snapped and strangled her to death. According to Chris, Bella was awakened by the noise and enters the bedroom at the wrong time, asking, "What's wrong with mom?" Bella stands there watching her mother getting wrapped in a sheet by her father and being carried to the truck. Surveillance footage of 13th August shows Chris loading up his work truck and leaving home at 5:27 a.m. Both kids sat on the bench seat of Chris's truck as he drove out to an oil site where he works to dump Shannon's body. In the oil fields, before dumping Shannon's body in a shallow grave, Chris suffocates his daughters with a blanket and dumped off their bodies into 2 different oil tanks.
Here we go. Ooh, ooh. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Ooh, ooh.
Around 1:40 p.m., Shannon's friend Nicole Atkinson went to the Watts' home as Shannon was not replying to her messages and calls. Shannon's car was parked in the garage, and when no one answered the door, she felt something wasn't right. Nicole called the police for a welfare check. Chris came just after a police officer arrived at Watts' house. Chris told the officer that his wife told him she was taking the girls to a friend's house that day, but he did not name which friend. A neighbor asked Chris and the police officer to his house to watch his home surveillance video, which directly contradicts Chris's statement about his wife leaving the house with their daughters while he was at work. His body language while watching the surveillance video was telling everyone there that Chris has to do something with Shannon and the little girl's disappearance. The next day, Chris appears on Denver 7 to address the abduction of his wife and daughters. Police didn't take much time to know that Chris was having an affair with another woman named Nicole Cassinjo. 2 days after the disappearance, police called Chris for a lie detector test in which he failed easily. He then confessed to murdering his wife and burying her body in a small grave near an oil factory. He refused to accept the blame for his daughter's death at the time, claiming Shannon killed them. Chris Watts was arrested on suspicion of 3 first-degree murder charges and 3 charges of tampering with a deceased human body on August 15, 2018. The next day, Shannon Watts' remains were recovered at this oil site in a shallow grave. The girls' remains were discovered in the 2 oil tanks. On September 30, 2020, Netflix released American Murder: The Family Next Door, a documentary on the case. Meanwhile, Chris's parents tell the Sun that they still love their son despite the crimes he committed.